So, if you wonder what it's like to launch something into space, you have this ability to position things, cognation, and that also applies to a vacuum. So here's this knife which makes a cut. It's exactly what it's designed for, such as a finger if you're gardening. So this is ammonia. Just wet that there a little bit. Ammonia determines all medication based off the opposite, which is pneumonia, when you apply the science to rust, which is derived years and years ago from the railroad track system, which rust is considered a byproduct. So I can create a cognition system for the vacuum where it will function and be of relation, equivalent at the pad here to equivalent to the pad here outside the atmosphere in low Earth orbit and so on. Now what I'll do is make an intentional cut that is at the sigma of launch and carry the ability to plug and play when I say carry. And this can be used with these plug and play methods, maybe another hammer, another knife, another form of chemical, rocks, anything at the moment when you get ready to launch. Being that we're using foundational tools and root tools and minerals here, as you can see, the rocks, I can always plug and play the equivalency for its method. In this purpose, we're just learning about the cut itself, which you will cut to shape your launch vehicle device, the math you'll put into the programming, anyhow, and it'll have an intent. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, and we can actually hijack a rocket ride and apply sciences that will fit to this plug and play method. And here I have a hammer which is going to impact, and we're doing this specifically around the vacuum, the ability of launching using vacuum, the vacuum itself, not just solids like aluminum and oxygen, but a vacuum. So this impact will have a function versus something natural like the cut itself or the hammer after it's been hit. It's a whole procedure from A to B. So there, and now we've launched. It's an impact that's natural, such as a rock falling, a big rock falling onto something way, way, way down below till it makes another impact. But that's root. That's very root. It's more root because you can actually make a hammer out of the rock. But this had left a natural ability, a natural state of something, because the environment was set up. Although this is man-made, it's natural for the process in which it's used for and what it is itself, a hammer. A hammer's actual natural geometry. It all goes back to your foundational rocks, as you see before. Now, because we had, it's an enhanced form of a rock, you could say, so it's got more advanced function features. And because I had to maneuver something that was crafted, that is natural geometry, I get more than just the function from A to B. It left the impact based off what I was using here, this hammer. So that's very intense plug and play, even in real world, if I was to go to a launch pad at NASA or Rfclabs, anything as such. I could, especially since I put ammonia on the ground. So this would be great for plug and play with bacteria, even large things. It's just a little bit more math but you can benefit from the little enhancement here, setting up a plug-and-play environment that is using the context of set. I use placement, but I'm reserving that for my own personal lessons later, as I will teach upon my audience. I just want you to keep the context and multiple contexts when the word set is brought into conversation here, like set. There's various forms of setting something into a position. So the habitat will become plug and play in your project, such as was done here. And now I can cut over to something launching into the atmosphere or even the vacuum of space, and have plug and play ready for later or for at the moment. So I've created a function with the impact, so it is launched, or I can plug and play or hijack another launch in the future that is going on. So anyhow, good night, and thanks for following along with Rfclabs.